We're back. Good morning, good evening, good night. Last episode of the week on the Web3 network for NFT Live and GM Web3. We just had a great morning show. Gifted held it down with the Nifty Kit team. I'm excited to hear about that. I'm excited to talk anything positive. You guys got positive news? Please just drop it in chat. Please drop it in the comments. Let me know, because I got Milady's dumping. I got Shaq getting served.
I mean, Bitcoin frogs are killing it. So they're hopping to success. Apparently, you like that headline? Bitcoin frogs are hopping to success.
You sound like every publication in crypto. Like, that's the publications we get. Shit is going down with Bitcoin frogs.
shit's going down with Milady's. Apparently,
it is. It is. We'll get into it in just a second.
Correction,
you guys. Yeah. I'll tell you, positive outlook there. Hey, I want to start this off with some positive news, though, before we jump into some crazy stuff. Global Pizza Party Tea 2023. That's a dope logo, and you get the back where all the different neighborhoods.
This is actually sick.
Now. It is. I am literally about. You give me a hard time for not buying anything. I'm buying the Pizza Party Tea. Okay.
But Nifty Q. Do they have it in black? That's all I'm saying. I like white with like the pizza sauce and the cheese and the grease.
Fair.
Like, you know how quickly white gets destroyed, but especially if you're hanging out at pizza parties a lot, this thing's gonna get absolutely wrecked. Like, you got to have it in black anyway.
They didn't give that much thought. They did not. Actually, I really like it. Obviously, we're joking a little bit. Although the Huxley hoodie, I just noticed that. It's pretty fresh.
Oh, you've seen this before.
That is one black hoodie that I will rock. But there's too much black merch. We know this in the space, so it's nice to get some. What is this? Off-white? What is this like?
I'm
like
begging
tan?
to disagree. Especially in this situation, I'm saying there's not enough black merch. So okay. I beg to disagree.
Well,
but you know what else? As far as disagreeing with merch choices and selections. Prodigy also pointing out your awful hat. First thing in the morning, Prodigy calling you out.
We the boys.
Say that a few more times into the camera. See where it goes.
Look, I'm going to be me, okay? I'm a Cowboys fan. Get over it. It's happening. The Stars suck. We're down 3-0 in the Western Conference Finals. It's not good. The market's looking okay. We're seeing
What does this qualify as crabbing out, Q? Is it crabbing, as you like to say?
You just gonna dog me all episode.
Absolutely. Squashman saying we're looking for positive news here. Squashman saying there's another Oni announcement.
We've done our part on the Oni front. I'm waiting for one ETH. We've done our part. Okay.
Look, to be fair, it hurts Nifty Q to look at it, and even just saying Oni Force. Every time the man hears Oni or Oni Force or Enclave or anything Oni Force related, it absolutely stings his soul. So just, if y'all could not write anything about Oni Force in the chat, if y'all could stop talking about Oni Force for just a few minutes and don't even say
I would agree. I would agree. Please stop doing that, because it's driving the market sentiment meter up, which somehow leads to like a cascading amounts of buys. I don't get it. Anyways, we are getting started here on NFT Live. It's the last show of the week. We're on Thursday here. I do want to hear about the morning show episode with Nifty Kid. I'm interested in that, but I want to get to the chat first. Right. Join our Vibe, our tribe. Cromer, OVOT, Squashman, OVOT. DP says he's looking at his watch. Set the watch like 5 minutes behind ish, and you might be on time. Jack Side was saying, nice, good morning, guys. He hit Squash. Jack Side was saying, I rarely wear anything but black, and Squash is saying Avenged Sevenfold announced their NFC chips and their vinyl merch, etc., which ties into their tier passes. You buy these things, it upgrades your pass, which unlocks perks and experiences. Avenged Sevenfold is like putting the NFT music scene and like holding it up like Atlas. Like literally, like it feels like every time I hear about like Avenged Sevenfold, Squashman always brings these updates.
They're doing a good job, and who would have thought? Not me. Like it's one of these look at us moments. Look at us. Look at us, Avenged Sevenfold. Who would have thought?
It's good.
They're the ones that are making maybe the most strides. Some of the biggest strides in music NFTs coming from a a decently well-known rock metal band that I don't know how much they've been doing, but apparently they still have a very active community. But I haven't heard new Avenged Sevenfold music in probably the better part of 10 plus years. But
it has been a while.
But man, are they doing a good job apparently? And thank you to Squash Man, always keeping us up to date on his favorite projects, like Avenged Sevenfold. So
yeah, I do want to cover the .swoosh drop here as well. That's ongoing, right? You had some things to say in the Nifty Kid show this morning. But look, this pains me, guys. We're gonna touch on this disclaimer here in a second, but this really pains me because I'm becoming two things over the course of like 2 weeks. I'm becoming the Oniforce guy that called it at 0.42 that didn't buy. And I'm just becoming the guy that talks about it and doesn't buy it. And I'm actually like, I need to go to rehab for this. Like I need to go to some form of AA for this because HAPE Prime, I said I was going to buy, talk myself out of it. It's actually up from the announcement. So we actually caught this announcement yesterday, guys. We actually at 0.28.
You know what? Not only were you right and then simultaneously wrong, I was right, Q, because what did I say? Can we roll the tape?
I can't roll the tape. We don't have the tech.
Can we roll the tape?
We don't have the tech.
Can somebody clip yesterday's video from what I was saying when Nifty Q was saying he was going to buy? Or can somebody remind us, Nifty Q specifically, what I was saying?
Right about? But me not buying it?
Yeah. Do you not remember my call was like, dude, there's no way in hell. You're going to sit here, you're going to talk it up, and then you're going to go on your walk to walk your dog, or you're going to talk yourself out of it and sit on your hands.
Well, look, I want to bring this up because we had the right call, right? This is not financial advice. None of this stuff's financial advice.
I feel like you don't get credit because you said you're going to buy it. Like you can sit up here and make
people.
The right call, Q, would have been to actually follow your gut and pull the trigger and then be up this morning. That would have been the right call.
Yes. While I agree, I'm saying if someone is watching this show and happened upon the announcement when we did, it seemed like the industry did not pick this up as soon as we did. So we were sitting talking here at like 2.28, 0.27 yesterday. It has since risen to 0.34. I don't know where it goes from here. I'm not a magician, and I'm not gonna buy HAPE Prime here. But we did have a lot of announcements coming from HAPE Prime yesterday. They got acquired. That is a long running project, and
I still think, this story is actually crazy that they sold it for $12 million.
Yeah, no, in the grand scheme of things, 12 mil is not a lot. Like if you're talking about acquisitions of companies, but I mean, for a project that was kind of dead.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like the context with those memes of like, you're still here. It's like, like, you know what I mean? It's like, I have no idea what I'm fucking doing here, but 12 mil easy. It's pretty wild. So you know what? I want to congratulate you on a good call, but the fact that I was right, that you weren't going to do anything kind of, I don't know, it dampens it for me. It feels like, I simultaneously feel great about being on point and totally accurate about your behavior, and also just feel like you missed another one. We both missed it because I wasn't saying I was gonna buy them.
The thing was, I'm not getting in with any size with HAPE Prime. Okay, so it would have been for the memes. It would have been for the show. Like I wasn't gonna like sweep the floor on HAPE Prime.
Yeah,
it's just not.
Well, we wouldn't want to do that. We wouldn't want to create entertaining content. We wouldn't want to buy something just for the shits and the gigs and the chuckle toots of the show. Would we?
All right, settle down and chat over here talking about time management skills. We come to you guys every day around the same time. Okay, we're putting out podcasts, we're putting out live shows. We do 2 live shows. Gifted sits in that chair for 4 hours a day.
We're trying
nonstop.
Yeah, that's more. Yeah, that's facts. You know what? Just for that, smash the fucking like, fam. Do us a favor. We're here every day basically trying to create amazing, high quality editorial, entertainment, and educational content for the space. Give us a like. We really appreciate it. And y'all know it goes a long way for that algo. to get this content out to more people. So thank you for smashing the like. We were waiting for Ronan. We're hoping to get Ronan in. No, or did he have to go do family
I have
things?
not. Look, Ronan has a lot of IRL. He's got kids, a wife, things that
He's a responsible individual.
Exactly, and so things come up in IRL life. I get that. So hopefully he hops in. I'm interested to see if he does. That'll add a great dynamic because I don't know if I could take the hate all day, and Ronan brings the love usually. Ronan brings the genuine positivity that I'm looking for. This is the NFT Live link for today. I'm going to drop that in chat. If you guys could hit a like and a retweet on that or a reply. I have to start saying reply because we know how those algorithms work. How do you look out for NFT and crypto rugs? We don't. Join Ronan, Gifted, Nifty Q for discussion on protecting yourself in Web3. We don't. Topics, Shaq Gets Served, Milady's Dump Hard, and much more. That is going to be, again, the topics for today. We got a bunch of other things to touch on, but
slow news day when Shaq getting served legal papers while broadcasting is a headline.
Again, we hate the publication. I don't hate you guys. I don't hate you guys. There's no way he got served like live on air. That's what people are making it seem like. He was broadcasting live and he got served papers. It was probably like on location while he was serving. Or I'm sorry,
either way. I mean, look, it's a headline because it's funny. I mean, it's like one of the biggest people in the world, one of the most
truly biggest.
One of the hardest people to miss in the world has been dodging this getting served from this FTX lawsuit. Look, I shouldn't be laughing. It's not a good situation to be getting sued. But have you seen the memes of Shaq hiding behind the tree? It's like
I would like to.
It's like a stick, and he's like,
I'm looking this up.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, I've got the poll for HAPE Prime going right now. Is $12 million too much for HAPE? I'm interested in what treasury they had like on hand. That sometimes has a play into it. But let's say all things are equal. It's simply just we're acquiring the IP where that they like have no assets on hand, whatever that means. How much would you pay for HAPE?
Oh, nothing. This is what's my I'm gonna be honest. Like, okay, again, I'm sure it has a solid community. Otherwise, it wouldn't have sold for this much. I'm not in it, and I'm not very aware of it. I have plenty of blind spots. Of course, I don't know fucking everything, but we're in the space every day. I go out to the conferences. I go to events. We're engaged in crypto Twitter and YouTube, and like. Almost since they launched, I have not seen anybody repping, excited, loving HAPE, talking all about the war. Like it's also kind of like a Bored Ape derivative. Like it's another
kind of.
ape. Yeah, it's another ape project that doesn't even look that dissimilar. So I'm really confused. To me, they must have some like. It can't be just the IP and the NFT project. To your point, they must have a treasury. There must be some kind of like tech
assets,
or other assets with this company besides the NFT project. I wouldn't be surprised if anything, if like the real values in the company and like the talent and the project is just sort of like getting rolled up into this, and they're making it seem like, yo, HAPE gets this massive acquisition, but actually it's like just a small part of the larger like asset. Because I don't understand there. Let's go, Shaq. He dodged it for 5 or 6 months or something.
It's wild. I'm gonna pull up that HAPE Prime chart again, and that poll is running, like we said. I'm interested in Clone X right now, looking not at buying, guys. I'm interested in the story of Blend. Again, don't say. Hold on, Give. I hear you on mic. Blend Blur lending, aka Blend support, will be live shortly for Clone X. This happened literally an hour ago. So, Statistics has been following this. He's been saying, "Hey, don't buy into these announcements. Like actually, buying Clone X based on thinking, hey, they got listed on Blend, or there's going to be support for Blend. This shit's going to pump." I'm going to look into that in just a second. I will bring up HAPE again, though. It looks like, again, it's 0.349. So 0.35 floor price. We called it yesterday at like 0.28, 0.27. But Gif, come in here. What do you got?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, even if you were saying you were gonna buy a clone, you wouldn't anyway. But that's that's an interesting new headline. Blend keeps adding new projects. It's interesting to see the ones that they add. To me, one of the ways that you can assess what are the quote unquote blue chips, it's what are the ones that financial systems or financial tools like this are willing to leverage, like let you leverage, or loan against, right? This is an example of like, okay, clearly they think that the CloneX ecosystem is robust, healthy, valuable enough that they're going to loan money against these assets. So I just think it's interesting to see which projects they keep adding to, and that list of these different financial tools and lending platforms, specifically Blend right now being the big, most interesting one. What projects they add, that can be a great way to be like, oh, these are the blue chips. These are the ones that have enough liquidity, that have enough interest, that have enough established track record that these companies feel confident that they can lend against them.
Yeah, it's a really great point. Liquidity should definitely be a factor there. Chorna, I'm calling you out right now. I'm perusing my Twitter as I look through Shaq memes, and this is the tweet that comes up, and I'm interested in this. Let's see. Give me just 1 second. Here we go. The Hordinals application. Only a limited amount of early applicants will be accepted to help us fight in the name of Bitcoin, coming very, very soon. You can see China retweeted this. Guys, we've been covering Bitcoin Ordinals. We've been covering Bitcoin NFTs, BRC20s. The Hordinals sounds like a pretty, one, great pun. Fantastic. I'm a big fan of Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3. Big fan of just that like pixelated orc I guess IP, if that makes any sense, but that kind of like rings a bell for me with Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3. Also, the name stands out. I love it. The Horde is coming exclusively on Bitcoin. Interested? Join to tell me more. This might be a good time to tell them to not buy this shit, Gift Dead.
You know what, fam? We haven't said this yet, and it's really important that we keep reminding everybody. If you can hear my voice, if you can hear us, if you can see us, wherever you're consuming this content, just know that it's not financial advice. Information that we talk about was found publicly on the internet, and opinions shared on these episodes are solely of the Web3 team. All of this information is public domain, and it behooves you to do your own research. Did I use behoove properly?
I behoove you to behoove yourself to do research.
Yeah, DYOR, fam. That's the gist of it. We're not financial advisors. Nothing that we say should be taken as such. So yeah, don't buy this. But also, I'm gonna look at Hordinals for sure. I just followed them. Yeah, because maybe this is the moment that we start dipping our little tippy toes into some Ordinals queue. I don't know. We've been on it, watching it since the beginning, and neither of us have really pulled the trigger. Not surprising that you haven't, frankly, but I haven't. Don't buy this shit.
Don't buy this shit. Okay.
Hot take. All right, you got insights? Let us know. Is it a rug? Wait, isn't the headline on this episode how to find crypto scams and rugs? And you just glossed over that and said, we don't.
I already told you we don't. We're not good at it. We're not good at it. No, related to that topic, which we will get to here shortly, like the chat and the community that we find ourselves in is a great resource. Like that is the number one thing that you need to do in crypto and NFTs is find a group of individuals that can help defend you against what we call the wild, wild west of crypto and Web3. You can't do it alone. You can't make it like if you tried to get to Dallas, Texas, to Oregon on the Oregon Trail back in the day, you would be dead within like literally 10 miles. So you need to go with a caravan, and that's what we're adding to and creating. So
my man, the host of Wild Wild Web over here, explaining the Wild Wild West metaphor, the grand metaphor that we use for this space. I love it. You're just adding bits and pieces to it along the way, along the Oregon Trail there. Omar asking, did I get my extra OF1 Hour Force 1 boxes? Pretty awesome to see 55,000 sold on day one of general access. Here it is. Here you go. I got another one. I got my new wave box. You can see my redeemed poster over here. I got my domain, my .swoosh, gifted.swoosh domain. This is the new one right here. There you go. New wave box. So now I've got one of each. So I didn't get 4 more. I just got 1 more. We'll see how it goes. But
so are you going to be able
I
to
got 1 of each.
Are you going to be able to open that box at some point?
Oh yeah, there'll be a reveal. It's the classic remix styles and then the new wave styles. They're going to be shoes in the boxes. There will be a reveal at some point. I'm very excited. I don't think I know exactly when yet. I'm not sure if they've confirmed a date. So far, the rollout has been a little bit like laggy in terms of like, okay, we're going to watch now. Okay, we need a day or 2 more, or like, okay, the website's down. Give us an hour. It's been good. It's been working, but like, I assume that everything just takes a little bit longer to make sure. This is their first big rollout, to be fair.
So 55K were sold. I want to get the number on how much they raised here. How much they sold.
It's a really good question, because I'd actually love to know. All right, so if I'm going back into the platform here and I look at the Our Force One boxes, can I see data? Like, I don't see any. So yeah, I'd love to know, like, where's the best place? Is it on OpenSea or on Polygon somewhere? Like, where are you pulling the data from, or is that just an announcement? That's what I want to know, is where can we like actually track this project? Because I don't know where the data is. I don't see it in the .swoosh platform.
Well, I believe Omar was saying 55K were sold. What was the price of each box?
$20.
$20. Okay, so I can do some rough math. Sounds like about $1 million though.
Yeah, 5 times 20. Yep.
Yeah.
A little bit over $1 million.
Not a bad release by Artifact there, Nike. It's pretty dope.
No, it might be more too, because I think there's 84,000. Well, but also, I think they already sold a bunch too. That like this might just be. Yeah, I don't know if that includes the like pre-sale, like when I got my first one, if it includes all the people that were on the pre-sale as well, because I paid for that too, or if that's just in the general sale, public sale.
Okay. Hey, we just showed a little bit of the Wild Web Pod. I've been doing that now for 2 weeks under that rebranded podcast name. I'm excited to continue doing that. I spoke yesterday about Arclegger, basically breaking down what the metaverse might look like, and if MMOs were kind of like the large scale use case for what the metaverse will look like. We've been getting a shout out to Jacob Gooden, who does the editing on all of our shows, and he's doing it as well for the Wild Wild Web Pod. And this is the link here. So we've been putting out pieces here. Actually, let me make sure this has audio first. We've been putting these out, and this was his answer, right? So the context of me asking the question's not there, but you can kind of get his take here on Ready Player One and what that looks like.
Ready Player One is simulating like thousands of metaverses all connected together at the same time. Like all those little places that they jump in and out of, that's never going to be one game. Everyone who's building their virtual world right now is going to all connect together, and you're going to be jumping from one event to the next event to the next event to the next event, right? Imagine in real life if you and I, be like, hey, you want to hang out next Saturday? Cool. What do you want to do? Well, how about we eat lunch in Tokyo, and then we hop over to Lisbon and go check out an event there, and then we'll end the night in Rome, and then maybe at the end of the night we'll go to Los Angeles, right, and party. There's a rooftop party. That's the metaverse, right? That's what we would do right now if we could teleport. Ready Player.
So, look, This is what we're missing in the metaverse. When we bring up metaverse projects and we call them dead or ghost towns, like that's the issue. Is like even in a Ready Player One scenario, when all this interconnectivity is there, we're still gonna want to jump between all of these places. There's no jump between all these places right now.
And that's half of it. The other part is actually having active users or making it not feel dead, right? So I agree with everything they're saying. I think it's a brilliant clip. I'm excited to dig more into that because I've listened to the first episode. I have not checked out the second episode just yet. It just dropped. Wild Wild Web, new podcast with this man, Cowboys fan. So if that doesn't stop you, make sure to check out his new podcast because he's killing it already.
Let me Let me make sure that I share that. I've got another video as well. So this is going to be the Spotify link, guys, if you want to go there. I know a lot of you have already gone there. Also, if you guys can leave a rating on that, I believe it boosts the podcast and gets new people finding out about it. But yeah, awesome podcast there with Arclegger, video and audio that you guys can check out. It's also on Apple Podcasts and all that stuff as well.
Hell yeah. Excited for more awesome wow episodes to come and more deep interviews. I did share the Our Force One OpenSea page, was able to find that. And it does look like, yeah, it's in total about 55,000 out of 84,000 or something like that. But yeah, so not really any secondary at this point. If I guess, can you buy and sell on second? Maybe you can't even buy and sell. I wonder. Yeah, I don't think you.
Yeah, that's interesting. This is the part we talk about, right? With larger brands, although they have acquired artifacts and shown like a want to be like Web3 native in some way. This is the idea with the big brands not having an on and off ramp, right? Like that's what this is exactly what you were trying to talk about on GM Web3 the other day.
Yeah, because it looks like on OpenSea, like I can make an offer, etc. But and there is actually offers. So there's like a low offer on them right now. I'm just curious what actually happens, like how that works.
Yeah,
because like if I go to my wallet, like it's not in my wallet, I don't think, right? Like it's in a totally separate thing. So like I wouldn't even know how to. I'd have to like set up a new OpenSea somehow and connect it to my .swoosh. I don't even know how to do that. So yeah, as far as I know, you cannot buy and sell these on the secondary.
Got it.
So being able to make offers that's very confusing. I would love for somebody to explain to me what's going on with OpenSea and like offers on these.
Yeah, some of it might be regulatory as well. Like you think about like, hey, we want to be able to sell these within our own platform or something like that. It's interesting. That was another point of conversation we were talking about with Arclegger was the sales that we're covering here on NFT Live of like the CS:GO skins. Those are not happening on Steam, by the way. Like they're all kind of like with some type of NFT component. He was saying it's actually pretty cool. Like the ownership. Do you see what I mean? It's like a digi ownership. Like there's no physical component, but like you have the digital potential NFT that represents, and they're sent at the same time. It's very weird.
It's kind of like how, so like for instance, I have an Avagachi placeholder in my wallet that represents my vaulted NFT. It's like a proxy.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. But the attaching those together, how? Yeah, you really can't, right? With CS:GO.
Yeah. That's interesting. It's kind of just like a receipt, but if that doesn't actually control the original asset or give you control over it, it's not the same thing. Quantum Variant, I want to know why you said don't buy this shit when we're talking about Hordinals. What's the grift? What's the details on Hordinals? Or were you talking about something else or HAPE? I don't know where you popped in there.
Jimmy Butterworth.
Yo, smash the like, Jimmy Butterworth.
He's in the fucking house.
Getting buttered up, fam.
Hey, look,
it's gonna be a slippery day.
We need to close out some of these quick news pieces. So we brought up the blend and CloneX stuff I want to take a look at, but we do have the HAPE announcement. We have an actual trailer that goes along with this. Let's watch this.
Not gonna lie, like I don't want to FUD it anymore. But I kind of hate it. I just don't understand. Like that is so, like that looks remarkably close to Bored Apes.
Well, Apes Together Strong, and it looked like there was a trademark on that.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't even understand how they can get away with that close. Because it's a directly competing product. It's not like they're like selling, you know.
Yeah, they're in the same sector.
Something totally separate. It clearly came after it, riding the coattails of the success of the Bored Apes, and is so similar. So I don't know. It's kind of wild to me that like that's a thing that is being taken as seriously as it is and getting that kind of money and support. Because I could like given the way that you guys been winning court cases recently against people infringing on their copyright, like that seems risky.
Yeah, I agree completely, by the way. I'm going to pull up two things real quick related to this and then close the HAPE conversation out, at least for today's episode. HAPE and Vertex Labs, it looks like there was a Twitter space. So I'm definitely listening to this. I'm going to take in at least, like the first 20, 30 minutes of this and see if I can bring anything back. But I mean, I'm interested in acquisitions. We also touched on how Oni Force is not, it wasn't acquired, but essentially they're taking the narrative of like this is a redemption, which you'll probably see from HAPE. They'll be like, hey, or Vertex Labs will be like, hey, we're turning this thing around. That's definitely happening.
By the way, shout out Asmodai with maybe the best comment of the show. I mean, it's up to y'all to try and dethrone this comment as the best comment of today's show over there in the chat, saying, I HAPE it's not one dude and 2,000 wallets. Talking about what was acquired. I HAPE it's not too. Love that comment.
I love it. I said got him right afterwards, so I appreciate it. Squashman saying, GIF, no need to derail combo today, but FYI, Starbucks has an airdrop coming up by 11:59 p.m. This is by June 5th. You need to complete 2 journeys and own 1 limited edition stamp. Also, a journey starts one. This is why I bring this up. Well, other than the alpha of what's happening with Starbucks, thank you. We got to have some form of utilizing this like hive mind that we have here in chat and in the broader social media sense. Like we need to be able to like reward Squash for that. We got to figure that out. We'll put our minds together on how to reward something like that. But that was dope. I appreciate it.
The thing is, we looked into POAPs for a little bit and didn't really get into it because it seems like it's kind of a lot of work to be creating new POAPs for every single show that we do. And then like, do people really care? So it's a great question. Y'all can kind of tell us. I mean, look, Lad's token was kind of specifically for this. So maybe this is a way to either launch a new one and like roll Lads into that and start playing with our own social token.
We've been having conversations
as a
about
reward.
That. Yep.
Let us know what you think, because we do want to figure out more ways to incentivize engagement in all of y'all, like the awesome people that do show up here almost every day with us, providing the alpha, helping us tell these stories and stay on top of all this. Like we couldn't do the show without y'all. So like we need to figure out more ways to incentivize people like Squashman and all of y'all over here that chime in with these really valuable pieces of info. So what do you think? In the chat, let us know. POAPs, doing like a bigger POAP sort of game where it's like you can collect them and then that turns into other types of rewards or valuables. A token, actually bringing back a token that we can figure out like how do we infuse value into that with different games, different activations, etc. Are there other ideas that we don't know about? Just more giveaways, like we haven't been doing as many giveaways because frankly, it's like I did too many. It's like so expensive, but we could always do more giveaways again. So it's just like, I don't know. What are the types of incentives that y'all think are really awesome that we could maybe try and implement more of?
The giveaway thing is tough in my opinion, at least in the sense of how we're using it now, right? Like one of the things that we used to do back in the day is just drop a link, right? And there was some obvious like setbacks to that as well, but we used to drop a link and people used to claim whatever we were dropping at the time. So instead of having us have to go back and hey, let me sift through my Twitter DMs and I need your ETH address and all this stuff, I think that's legit. Marty McFly's coming through with a dunk tank live. That's a fantastic idea, Jimmy. Just getting after it.
That actually is a really fun idea. If you could figure out a live stream of people to like participate in pitching, trying to get one of us or both of us fucking
I need to continue through the quick news, and we need to get to the NFT Go bag check and some of the rest of the stories. But just know that we're keeping our minds open on that front and are having discussions behind the scenes. If you want to drop a comment in our DMs or wherever, please let us know about that. Market reaction again: the HAPE Prime floor jumped 23%. To 0.35 at the height, it looks like, though on just 11 ETH. So we'll be following the HAPE Prime stuff. Again, it's an interesting one because that was kind of I don't want to call it dead, but it wasn't looking good for HAPE. So that's the other piece. And go ahead.
I don't need to add anything onto that. You said it.
All right, sounds good. The Blur lending with CloneX, I'm following CloneX here. So I mean the down to the minute buying activity is tough to see on a 24-hour chart, right? But I don't see anything crazy that's happening here. I went from 0.306 about an hour ago to 0.314. So not much. I mean that happened an hour ago again. So we'll see. But those are always interesting to me because crypto used to operate on those features, right? You used to say, oh, you were getting a listing on Coinbase, fucking pump 60%, something like that. Those eventually died out, and it looks like Blur didn't have that big of a life cycle. But all right, we're squarely in the quick news segment, folks. You know what we're doing here on NFT Live. We're bringing you the Web3 and NFT news around the industry right to your living room, your car, your earbuds, wherever you may be listening. And that's what we're going to continue to do. Leave a like on today's episode. GIF, before I jump into Shaq, I would like to know how the Nifty Kit episode went. Muted.
Great question. It went amazing because we had, it's frankly just an amazing group of people show up and participate as it goes. We keep just putting on these shows Monday through Thursday on Twitter and people keep showing up and it's absolutely phenomenal. I think we've already had about 140 listens, 140 listens on this show. And Dan Carr, who's the CEO and founder of Nifty Kit, you can see there, came through and spent almost basically the full 2 hours with us talking about everything that their platform provides, how they're developing new tools to be able to launch your project in a fully decentralized, self-sovereign way, that's the ethos. That's the idea of Web3, is to actually own your assets, to own your own contract. Well, that's what they do. They provide the infrastructure that we need to make it easy because it's expensive and it's difficult to hire, devs. There's a lot to navigate with that, a lot of trust that comes with that. Well, what's better than, not having to deal with any of that and being able to use a no-code Squarespace-esque solution, like a simple drag and drop type tool that lets you launch your own smart contracts, custom smart contracts. So that's what they're all about, and providing the tools that you need to successfully launch. And yeah, we love Nifty Kit for that reason. This isn't sponsored. I'm not saying this because we're getting paid. We aren't. It's like full transparency. We just love that product, and it's aligned with our ethos of supporting the Web3 movement, decentralization, self-sovereignty, artists, creators, builders in the space. So shout out Nifty Kit, shout out Dan Carr. If y'all don't know them, give them some love and check out that episode this morning on Twitter. It's recorded, it's there. Great conversation, and you can learn a lot specifically about diamond contracts, which is a new type of contract that's modular and lets you actually update it and upgrade it as you go, which it can be a huge benefit. So you don't have to create a bunch of different smart contracts and then figure out how they work together. You can just keep evolving one contract and modularly designing and updating and upgrading it. I think that's a huge win. Because again, this stuff has not been very user-friendly or easy to navigate. Blockchains are not always very fun to deal with. They can be very rigid. So having a modular, flexible smart contract, Diamond smart contract, is definitely a big new thing that they've already implemented. They've got layer 2 support. It's just awesome. So great combo. Shout out Dan Carr. Shout out Nifty Kit. Thanks for being there, Q, and for everybody that showed up.
Absolutely, man. The GM Web3 shows have been popping off recently. I appreciate everybody that attends those, and It's definitely a good platform for a lot of individuals. That's what's dope about obviously Twitter Spaces. You get a lot of individuals that can speak their mind. All right, I'm getting a comment here in chat from Jack's Hideaway. We love the value you've been bringing to the chat. Let's say, and any of you following our friends at Slingshot DAO, successful culmination of Epoch 1 yesterday? No, but we've been covering DAOs for as long as this channel has existed. Slingshot DAO here, so I'm looking at the Twitter profile here, and I've got another DAO that I want to give a shout out to. It says, introducing Slingshot DAO. This was on May 5th, a new community and platform for manifesting the future of the open metaverse. Got an idea for a gamer experience in the metaverse? Share it with the Slingshot community. Submit your ideas. Winning ideas receive report from the Slingshot DAO treasury. It looks like they have about 1.2 milli in that treasury. So this was from yesterday, last 50 minutes, over 1.2 in action at the treasury diversification event. Want to shape the future of gaming. So no, we don't know much about Slingshot DAO, but we're definitely interested. If somebody from the team wants to come on, I'm down to have them on any of our shows, and we can see if we can talk DAOs and treasury diversification, and obviously getting those proposals out to grow that platform.
Yeah, and I actually, we got to do a space with Opolis yesterday where I got to speak and talk about Web3 and do some more education around, core ideas in the space. That was really cool. But one of the guests that I got to speak with, I think his name is Meme Brains. Apparently he's part of City DAO. That's another one that I guess they're about urban planning and trying to integrate Web3 into how cities are built and developed and updated. So that could be a really interesting one. He said he's interested to talk to us. There's so many DAOs starting to do like actually interesting things. I've been saying, I think that 2024 is going to be the year of the DAO. Like I think all of the infrastructure and use cases are being developed. People are really figuring it out this year. And I think 2024 is going to be huge for DAOs. I think like this year we see DAOs crawl. I think in 2024, we start to see DAOs really run. And, even what PizzaDAO just did, like that's an example, what I mean, of like what's possible with these decentralized organizations at global scale. So I'm very excited to keep getting into what DAOs are doing. I'm currently not really in any DAOs. I would love to, get more involved in like Aavegotchi and Ape DAO and some of these others. But yeah, Choina, are you talking about the Aavegotchi diamond contract gift? We're talking about diamond contracts. So yes, absolutely. We must be.
I want to keep the conversation on DAOs really quick and give a shout out to Harry Liu, who I follow for ApeCoin updates, for Animoca updates, for BAYC updates. It looks like there was a proposal that was passed by the ApeCoin DAO. So obviously another DAO that's pretty active on the governance side. Huge moment for Forge, and I can get into Forge as well. An Animoca brand subsidiary delivering Web3 tech and unique fan experiences. But it looks like Harry Liu got funded here for what? I need to make sure I understand. AIP 209, the proposal was passed. Let's see if we can jump into this. Let's see. Give me just a sec.
This is interesting.
Yeah. Give me just a sec. Let's see if we can play the beginning of that if we missed anything. Okay. That so we got pretty much the
It's just like a thank you card to all of the different people that voted, which I don't think I've ever seen that before. It's a clever idea. I like it.
Yeah, I'm looking into Forge here because I've been following Harry for a while. Forge has been on his profile for a long time, but I mean, this is one of the first times that I've seen it like really pop off. in terms of like, community acknowledgement because of this ape proposal. So Forge is at the forefront of NFT technologies and bringing creators and fans closer together. All about entertainment, music, gaming in the metaverse. So obviously an accelerator program is not, I wouldn't call it a launch pad, but they're going to help different projects via consulting, maybe funding in a couple different ways. So yeah, big shout out to Harry Liu. I would love to talk with him here on the channel as well. He definitely has a lot of great updates across the board when it comes to what's happening with Yuga. So yeah, big time. But yeah, also shows the power of DAOs right now. To your point, like we're in a more adolescent stage right now with these DAOs. It's not just about, hey, we can create a council and we're just going to kind of sit here and talk about it. It's like, no, proposals are being passed, things are getting done on a larger scale for more DAOs than ever before.
Every single one of these proposals creates a new case study that all adds credence and value, interest, and experience into the DAO idea, like this whole idea of what a DAO can do, and examples that people can look to in the future and build on. So that's again why I think like really this year is like the crawling stage, but this shit, fuck man, 2024 is going to be crazy with what DAOs are doing.
I know a lot of people are getting behind the idea that like NFTs won't be the term that we'll use for this technology in the future, like at least at mass scale. I'm firm. I don't really have a dog in that fight. I don't really. I think NFTs will continue to be used. I guess so. I do have a side that I choose. DAOs are one thing that I for sure think that the terminology is going to change. It's going to be guild. It's going to be group. It's going to be some type of other thing. So I'm not really bullish on adding the word DAO to your name, at least long term. But I mean, they're going to be DAOs. They're just going to be called something different.
It's interesting because as you say it, my kind of gut reaction is that I actually disagree. Like, because DAO is a unique business structure, just like NFT is a unique technology. So I don't know. I feel like people use LLC, that they might use DAO like that in the future. There's also a good chance that, there's a better term that does come along. So I can see it both ways. But for some reason, DAO feels like it works as like a proper noun to describe a new type of guild, a new type of business model. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. The whole thing with NFT, I also kind of disagree. I'm kind of like in between, where it's like, I think the majority of the mass users will never care about the technology enough to talk about it in terms of the technology. So why would they be talking about NFTs as much as digital collectibles or tickets or rewards or whatever the actual use case for them is in their life? But people that are actually in the industry developing projects, they'll be talking about NFTs constantly because they are working with the technology. So I don't think it's black and white. And I
So I've got that poll pulled up. We just launched that poll. Will NFTs be the term that people use when we reach mass adoption? So interested to see what you guys think about that. All right, Prodigy saying, bro, Mexican food is simply the best. Quesadillas, fajitas, queso chips, salsa, enchiladas. I mean, it's just the best. Name a better one you have ever had. Authentic street tacos, bruh. I would appreciate. I guess I need to read Prodigy's messages before I can read them out loud, because when it comes out like in verbal form, it sounds like gibberish sometimes. So I'll prior read a Prodigy tweet or message before we go. Hey, Gift, the other piece I wanted to touch on before we end this Forge piece, they've got a trailer that I would love to get into, but look at this. The launchpad within the Ape Accelerator will initially operate on the Ethereum network and feature a tiered structure for participation based on users' Ape stakes and qualifying NFT holdings. User tiers will determine benefits such as priority sales, higher purchase limits, and better allocations of rare NFTs. The requirements can be defined through an ApeCoin DAO voting process. So I'm interested to look at this Ape proposal, the description on this Ape proposal, to see how they sold it to the Ape community. But this seems like it's going to be utility for Ape coin holders and BAYC holders as well, or like Yuga holding.
I'm Ron Burgundy. Yeah, that's interesting. No, that's actually a great call out there, and it makes me feel bad that I don't have an ape or a kennel club or a mutant or any ape coin at this particular moment.
My man just well, you got other deeds. You got other deeds.
I still have Yuga assets, my guy. I'm not totally out, but
well, maybe you're involved here. Maybe you can get involved.
Maybe I can. Thanks, man. It's it's fair. You owe me some good roasting after the beginning of the show. So
that's fair.
Roast away, Q.
I shall after the episode. Let's watch this real quick because there's some cool shit here. Just final follow up on Forge here.
Hello, my name is Joshua. Enjoy the drop when it comes. I'm just excited about this because it's a whole new
Tory Lanez.
Gifted a 1 out of 44 customized holographic first break Logan Paul NFT, basically a digital collectible.
All right.
Yeah, was that Tory Lanez? Like, that's a great video. The quality is awesome. It's hard for me to get past the fact that they're featuring Tory Lanez and Logan Paul and people like that. But that doesn't mean that this can't be a remarkable partnership with a lot of real utility.
Yeah, but I was just saying, isn't Tory in jail for shooting a girl in the foot? As when I was saying Logan Paul ? Look, it is my initial take on that as we pulled up that HAPE trailer. Like, there was so much more substance in this Forge. Like, that's how you do any type of trailer. Like, Forge absolutely killed the quality on that. Yeah, interesting of the choices they went with on that. Squashman saying just need one ape to be in the ape coin DAO. True. Only $3.25. So you can be a part of this. And Logan already rugged us once. Prodigy saying
3 or 4 times actually, if we're being totally honest about that.
Yeah, okay, we're midway through the episode. We need to cover this. We hit it.
Wait, Q, before we do.
Oh God.
We need you to smash that like button. We'll wait.
I'll sit here.
Thank you. Thank you to those that actually do smash the like. It means a lot.
I appreciate it. All right, Shaq served FTX lawsuit while broadcasting an NBA game. Again, come on, guys. He wasn't live broadcasting an NBA game. Crypto and NFT drama unveiled. Man, what a headline.
Do we actually have to talk about this more? I thought we already hit it.
No, because I want to get into it. Shaquille O'Neal, the basketball legend, unexpectedly met legal action in crypto NFT space while broadcasting an NBA game. The lawsuits are related to FTX and his NFT project. So the NFT project I'm interested in, apparently Astrals. You ever buy into Astrals? Head on a swivel.
No. Look at that. It's another ape derivative, a 3D one at that. And it's launched by Shaquille O'Neal, who, as we all know, is a Web3 crypto expert. It's heavily invested in the NFT community. Like, no. What?
Launched on the Solana network back in the distant realm of March 2022, Astrals dropped 10K NFTs that would act as avatars in the Astralverse. That's just hitting on so many just checklist items you need to launch a rug. Like 10,000 on Solana.
Yo, can we go check out? Can we check out the Astralverse?
I would like to. However, as markets turn sour, the floor price cratered, dropping from an all-time high of 16 Sol. So you need to do. They should do USD there. 16 Sol in April 2022 to the 1.22 Sol for the currently lowest price NFT in the collection. Through the complaint, Daniel Harper alleges that Shaq promoted the sale of unregistered securities in the shape of NFTs and the platform's Galaxy utility token. Oh my God, there was a token. Jeez. Essentially arguing that assets represented securities rather than the colorful metaverse-ready JPEGs.
Pull up Astrals NFT.io. Let's look at this.
This is where I get rugged.
Let's go look at it.
Astrals NFT. Yeah, here we go. We're in, folks. You can stake. There's a DAO.
There's fucking everything here.
Okay, terrible art.
How dare you?
You can put that together in a blender in like 0.5 seconds, I think. 10,000 Astrals, 16 races, metaverse-ready 3D avatars.
It's literally every single buzz term.
Rona, what do you think about
Oh.
these?
Yo.
Just hitting you with the hard stuff early. We got Rona the Collector here right now. Love to see you, man. What's up?
Not much, man. I'm sorry. I tried calling you earlier and then I got like just so tied into work shit. But no, dude, that's an interesting looking collection.
I'm surprised we didn't hear about Shaq's NFT collection when it launched in 2022.
I did. I heard about it. I didn't
Was
pay
that
any
Shaq's?
attention. Yeah. Yeah, because he's getting sued right now. He got served while he was broadcasting during the NBA finals in Miami.
Stop. That's FUD.
NFT drama unveiled.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I remember I actually had a buddy who went like really hardcore in it, like into like the Astrals or whatever.
Did it
Where's
pump?
he at? Where's he at
I
now?
need to
Can we
look
get
at
your
these.
buddy? Can we get your buddy on the phone?
I know. I hope he's doing all right. Jeez.
Did
I'm
you
not.
stop talking? Did you stop talking to him after he aped into this?
Actually, yeah, kind of.
You're like, ooh, I don't know if I can trust your judgment, friend.
Yeah, like that's one too many strikes for you, brother. No, but I remember like he was super hype. Like there was like all this interest around the plans and the token and everything. And I assume like now Shaq's in trouble, huh?
Well, it looks like he was dodging. He was dodging getting served papers for a long time. I'm not sure how you can miss Shaq, but apparently he was dodging this for a minute. So they went to his place of work, his place of just like, just where he's getting after it every day, and went to go serve him.
That sucks for Shaq. Poor guy.
I'm looking at I want to see the price action here on Astrals, because they are just hitting on like a lot. I mean, this is a copy pasta. Like, hey, this is the DAO. We're gonna have proposals. Man,
Staking, 3D, metaverse,
Merch.
everything. Merch. Yo, can we get some merch? Yo, I feel like an Astrals shirt is almost as good as having an FTX hat at this point. Can we see the merch? Can I get an Astrals shirt, please? Are they black? Yes, they have it.
Wow.
They have a black hoodie and a black shirt.
that looks like
fucking
Star
in.
Atlas.
I'm in, fam.
4800 Galaxy.
Let's
go.
okay. We can at least look at the Galaxy token.
Yeah, we can
folks.
look up the Galaxy token.
Yo, we are straight up blockchain forensics experts. I want to shout out Ronan. I want to shout out Nifty Q. We are, what is it? A forensician? I don't know. What's the right word? Forensicologist? Is that it?
Forensicology.
All right, we've been touching on this Hordinals situation. So again, before I bring this up, this is not financial advice. We don't know the first fucking thing about Hordinals. We just think they look cool. We've been covering Bitcoin NFTs since
You
they
haven't seen
started.
anything other than like a single grayed out PFP, and you're like, yo, they look so.
That's what I'm just following this in real time for the folks. So this just got dropped. The whitelist application that could or could not be a phishing link where you lose all of your NFTs. Just be careful.
It says google.com. It's probably okay to do that, but if you're putting in any like seed phrases, that's a red flag.
Don't sign a notification. Don't freaking put any seed phrases. Yeah, don't download anything if you click the link. The normal shit, guys.
Okay. So What's up?
Yeah, this is really interesting. And then like, so obviously like I didn't jump in with the ordinal stuff too heavy. I know you guys have like really been kind of playing with it. I saw something this week that said that Bitcoin ordinals like volume had like surpassed Ethereum trade volume.
I don't think that's the case. It might have been in like a week or something, but so
Yeah, for like that period or something.
Yeah, so we were covering this earlier this week. Bitcoin did around like 150 or 160 mil in the last like total volume in the last 30 days, which is more than 3x what Solana has done, and it is the number 2 chain in the last 30 days. It's still only about a third, I think, roughly of what Ethereum total volume in 30 days is. I might be a little bit off on these numbers, don't quote me, but I do recall especially being interested that Solana was only about a third of what Bitcoin ordinals was doing in the last 30 days.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I
Super
remember.
interesting.
I remember sitting here again in February. You remember Steve Gifted? We had Steve on. For the life of me, I can't remember the guy that Biggie Poppins had on.
It was Mark.
To talk Stacks Network. So we kind of joke about.
Dude, I don't know how you don't remember John. He was such an awesome dude. So shout out to Carlos for coming on the show. The question that we have, Ronan, is: do you think it's possible and or likely, and if so, what likelihood is it that Bitcoin can flip or really flap? Since it's the flappening, we're not using flippening again for another thing like this. Can Bitcoin flap ETH to become the number 1 NFT blockchain?
I don't think so, man. I would say I doubt it. I think that like we're just in a weird place, like with everything, right? Like I think people are just playing with this shit because it's like the new thing and there's volume there, and I don't know. I don't know enough about it to be honest. But I feel like Ethereum's always gonna have like a large market share, and it's gonna be a very specific market share of like probably like DeFi and NFTs, but like I think honestly, you look at like 5 or 10 years from now, I don't think Ethereum's going to have market share when it comes to NFTs. I don't think like that's primarily what Ethereum is going to be utilized like for. I think like we'll see much lower cost chains because I think like the bulk of digitally ownable assets is going to be gaming. I still feel pretty strongly about that. You know what I mean? And if that's the case, then you have to make those assets in line with what gamers expect. And right now gamers expect to be able to buy, well, that's slowly changing too, right? But you typically about $10 for a skin, you know, some of the shit gets really crazy nowadays, but to make that affordable in that type of ecosystem, I think you have to use a chain that's low cost when it comes to transactions. And I don't know if Ethereum could ever solve that. And you don't ever want to deal with like the up and downs of Ethereum and gas and things. So
that's a really, really hot take. I mean, you basically, and I don't think you gave like a specific time frame, but you were basically like, in the future, I don't think Ethereum is going to be the home
NFT
for the majority of volumes on NFTs. That's a huge hot take. Wow.
But do you? So I get where you're coming from. And I think that, of course, a lot of the future development and the big scalable like plays will be on layer 2s and other chains. So I could see how it becomes a smaller percentage of the overall NFT sales. But it's hard for me to imagine it like not being a major component, especially given the amount of development that's already there. Like you would have to see maybe a very, very easy, streamlined, cost-efficient way to bridge a lot of different assets to different chains. It's kind of similar to what we saw with the migration of Utes and DeGods from Solana over to Ethereum and Polygon. If that becomes like a standard operation because everybody's sick and tired of trading on Ethereum, then maybe I see it really sort of tapering off and like not having much of a market. But even then I would think that there would be a lot of big legacy projects that want to be Ethereum, that they want to be kind of like Bitcoin is the granddaddy. Ethereum's the granddaddy of ETH and art collectibles, digital art collectibles right now, like in art blocks. You know, do you think they would ever leave?
No,
Ethereum?
I think that's what lives on Ethereum. I think it's like your high dollar, high end, like collectibles, if you will still like live on Ethereum. And I think that's like the place. So maybe per like, I don't know, revenue volume, maybe Ethereum continues to like be the leader, because you're going to see shit like CryptoPunks and Bored Apes and those likes that are going to be trading for so much more money wise, right? But I think that like Polygon is probably a better option for most developers, because it's so similar to Ethereum, and it's so much low cost, right? When you talk to, again, I come from like the side of like working with brands and businesses. So when we're looking at like, how do we integrate the tech so we can bring in more people into the space and get them wanting to interact with Web3, it's through as the least amount of friction as possible. And I don't know if there is an onboarding solution that is simple for Ethereum right now. However, I've talked to in the last week people who have built on Polygon, Flow. I can't remember the other one that I heard, Arbitrum, which I thought was kind of random. But those solutions are super simple. I mean, dude, I could literally walk into the room right now. I've got the demo in my email, and get my 10-year-old kid to sign up and have a Polygon wallet that's attached to their a unique identifier. I don't want to give away the sauce. And they can collect, receive NFTs, as well as authenticate ownership of NFTs, all without ever touching the blockchain or knowing it was taking place on the blockchain, by using a device they use every fucking day. So yeah.
Thank you for coming here, Ronan, and breaking all of your NDAs for us. We really appreciate it. Yeah, we should get Tigbo on the show. Apparently, he's an Ordinals expert. Choina keeps bringing that up. Also, big love to Mark, who was the first person that we can. I was right. His name was Mark. We were joking around because we weren't 100% sure. But yeah, Mark was a great guest. Y'all are killing it in the chat. Give some love to Ronan. He made it. He was dealing with his family shit, and smash the like while you're at it. We appreciate it. All right.
Hey, will the term NFT be used when we reach mass adoption? We ran that poll. 66% of you guys said yes. We just started another poll as well that was asking, will ETH be the prominent NFT blockchain in the future? That just went live. So let us know what you think on that. I agree with the idea that the high value NFTs will continue to exist. We've even seen in times of high gas projects like Bored Apes, which is the prominent NFT project on Ethereum, say, hey, should we create our own chain? And there was a severe pushback from the community on that when it first got talked about around the other deeds launch. But that lets you know that there is a market or a want to move away from Ethereum, even with the biggest projects. And of course, like during times of high gas, it becomes completely unusable. So
the whole meme coin situation has been awful. It's wreaked havoc for artists like launching projects. Like Jeff Jag just launched an amazing project, like straight into the meme coin mania, and the gas was horrible for him. So yeah, it's been just really, really bad for artists and creators trying to launch projects or seeing their projects not doing as well. So great points there. I did also want to briefly call out an Artbox project that launched yesterday that sold out. If we wanted to check that out as well, since Artbox was brought up. But yeah, this one was apparently 400 collection that sold out yesterday. So Artbox is still killing it. Dude, they're launching projects like every few days.
Yeah. Well, I think like what they've done like and done really well over time is like they've kept their supplies for these different collections, in line with a proper expectation, right? You're not
reasonable. Yeah,
exactly. Like you just looked at that one that sold out yesterday. It was only 400 pieces, right? So they're not like some of these other projects that are like, 10,000, 20,000, right? And I think that's a really good way of approaching things right now in this type of like market, right?
I don't know who else is. I saw it's escaping me right now, but another project is doing this. Another popular project is doing this, where they're launching like 200 pieces that are like extra pieces that you can purchase. I think if you hold the NFT, I'm not sure. I need to go back and look, but like I think that there's definitely a lot of credence to what you're saying right there. Is like if projects are looking to increase or do something. Like do anything that is beyond, I guess when you're looking into like creating new items or things like this, like keep it small, because what you're gonna do, like in the end, if you go 10,000, even if you go like 5,000, you're being extremely dilutive to what you're trying to do. So Yuga is taking a huge step with that in what they're doing with heavy metals and other Ds. Like you can make the argument that they are extremely dilutive to the current holders, but I think that they have the pull to do that. If you tried to do that with any other project, you get fucked.
Well, the utility and expectation too that's actually being developed, right? It's like you have to actually, yeah, you actually have to like be creating a product that matters to hold that kind of value and meaning and interest. And that's the difference between them and a lot of other projects. Like, of course, we hit on Gutter Cat Gang a lot. You know, we've been talking about others recently, like Doodles. Some of the, we were talking about Alien Friends yesterday. Apparently they diluted their supply quite a bit. I'm less familiar. Like those projects do not have a core product that's meaningful to like to support that kind of supply and value. We got some other follow-ups though, if you want to check those out. You know, we've been talking about a lot of projects. I feel like we aren't always good at like following up. But yeah, remember this one?
Smurfs.
Remember this one? We were talking about this as it was launching and we were curious.
And what did we learn?
56 ETH on secondary.
What was the mint price for these two?
That was an accident. I didn't even mean to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, not unexpected. I will say that like I'm interested in like what you just said about Alien Friends and like them diluting their supply, or not diluting it, but
Are you familiar with Alien Friends?
I know the project and like, I kept up with it for a little while, but I hadn't heard about it recently. So I'm super interested in knowing.
Ronan, can you, but before we get into this gift, because I think Ronan was hitting on something that he's interested in, and I want to open this up because we do have that hive mind with the community. Can you break down what you were talking about with burns that you were interested in kind of like sourcing out and seeing? Maybe we have some people in chat that can help.
Yeah. So I had put this out to our little DM group that we've got for GM Web3. And essentially I asked, if anybody was familiar with projects that had done burns that you would consider to be successful. And what I would say by what I would deem success is that you had people take part, you were successful in reducing your supply, and then accomplishing any like side goals you had, whether that was like rolling it up into a simpler collection, delivering additional value, whatever the project itself. And some of the ones that came up were like VSP, right? Vayner Sports Pass. They dropped, these passes, and then about a year later, they came back and to reduce their supply, they had this burn event for their black card, which was like burn a bunch of like their Vayner cards and get a black card if you're at the top of the leaderboard at the end of the round. And those black cards give them access to all these cool sporting events around the world, right? Some other ones that were mentioned, I think, whereas Checks obviously did a burn, but their burn was in like, that was the point from the beginning, was like they knew they were going to go into a burn. So it's a little bit different. But yeah, like the conversation of how do you handle a project that launched at mid hype that was at, 10, 15, 20,000, quantity, and get it down to a manageable level that makes sense for your actual fan base. Right. So, and do it in a way that, feels good for everyone involved, feels good for the holders who bought into that 15,000 collection, as well as like people who maybe want to jump into whatever you've got going on in the future.
First of all, you did a great job explaining what you're looking for there. And I think it's an important thing to be talking about in this current cycle. Like in the first kind of wave, the ability to drop that second collection was what led to the hype, that led to the interest in your project. And what we saw is as the cycle started to peter out, you saw less and less effectiveness with that, and people got absolutely screwed. And we bring up the Gutter Cat Gang a lot, and I would say that was the other one I looked at, but I think it was botched. Like, I think the way it was rolled out was botched. I think it was a little bit too complex with what was going on.
The waves, splitting it up into like one wave took place now, the next wave takes place in 2 or 3 weeks or something, right? They were broken up over the course of like weeks, man. The other thing is that Gutter Cat already had 3 fucking collections of different animals that were all like, the quality was like way too high, right? It's a good example of a project just seeing green, right? Like doing as much as they could to drive that secondary value. And yeah, so, and a lot of those are struggling, right? Like what is Gutter Cat doing right now? And could it be considered actually successful? Like,
you know what might be another interesting one besides maybe Pixel Vault?
Pixel Vault was a good one too. Thank you.
Again, shout out Squash Man. There's a lot of awesome people in this community, but Squash Man has been killing it lately. So shout out you, dude. We appreciate you. What is it? What was Damien Hirst? It's called the currency, I think. That was a big burn play that played out over like a year. And that was actually, I think, very successful as like a case study. But what I would say to try and answer your question, I think it's a really difficult one, because you have to create some kind of experience or product that people value enough, like more than the original investment, that they're willing to part with that basically and get excited about it and participate and engage and take extra steps. And that's a really hard thing to scale. Like if you've got thousands of people invested in this thing, it's a huge challenge, man. So what I'll call out a couple quick things though on that. I think one of the ways is by developing a unique scalable experience that people just want to participate in because it's kind of cool and neat. And it's like, okay, you're doing something for them just with the experience. And I would point to Burn Island, which, VFriends has been doing this. I really didn't participate in it, but I get kind of the idea of it. So they created this whole burning experience that, it's kind of neat. And, you can, and then you've got different partnerships and ways you can redeem for different things. So it's like, I think that experience, that the experiential part makes it feel a little bit better. And then also having enough, good partners or other options that you can put into that mix. That's what they're doing. The only other thing that I've seen like that people have consistently, in my opinion, been willing to burn for is quality merch, like physical or like art, right? So physicals, turning it into a physical. So burning the digital, getting something physical, tangible that is actually cool and like marketed to you as valuable. That's the only other thing that I've seen consistently get people to show up and like willingly burn their NFTs is if they say like, yo, I'm getting this awesome limited edition physical thing.
Man, we can go in 1,000 different directions. One thing that also is beneficial in doing some like type of activity like this is seeing who's still there and wanting to mess with your, or not mess with, but like use your product or is just active, right? Because if you have some type of activity or activation, and a lot of people don't show up, well, those people probably aren't in the community anymore. So you can actually delve in. Yeah, that tweet that's just a bot on Twitch GIF. You don't have to worry about that.
I think
it's just a bot.
I think that to that point, I think so. What GIF was saying, I think you have to really incentivize them, but I do think that like something that should also be considered is the burn. Something that incentivizes people who aren't already in your community to take part in, right? Like maybe more people to come in and take part. And how can you incentivize people like that? So, and obviously the biggest barrier you have is, one last thing. Biggest barrier you have is most of these projects launched and a lot of these people spent a shit ton of money on these assets and now they're worth like 1/15 of that, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why it's got to be something that you convince people is cool and valuable enough, which again, to do that at scale is really costly and hard to do. The one other thing I was going to say, but I didn't say it because of that reason is, we have seen, especially during the first early open edition burn mechanic meta of 2023, we have seen some people like De Lucrece, Neon Cat, Jack Butcher, etc., do the you burn a bunch of these to get a more rare piece of art, a new NFT. And I think that is something to consider. But again, you're kind of just spinning up more NFT projects, and how does that keep value? It doesn't. So I don't think that's the best option, honestly, is because you're still creating a new collection. It's kind of new supply, and then you're just spinning people into like more assets. And I think that a lot of people, some people are going to like that, but I don't think it holds value. And I think a lot of people eventually get tired of that. So I don't think that's the best move, but it is a way to do it. If you can actually, again, create another piece of art that is super valuable, you know what I mean? If you can get people to buy into this new piece of art that, hey, if you burn 5 of these or 3 of these original pieces that you paid a lot of money for, this thing's going to be worth it. Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. That is really good to call out, like Squashman's comment that Q shared on screen a minute ago, which is like Pixel Vault is a really good example of that, right? Like where it's like there was kind of purpose until like there was way too much fucking supply, right? And then it got convoluted and it was confusing because you had so many collections, right? To me, if you're gonna make a burn, I would think like the goal should be the opposite, which is like funnel it all into a single collection, leave all the rest behind, so you can focus on one thing that is a proper supply for your fan base to incentivize.
You know what? We're in this cycle too, where we're seeing one Oni Force come out with this, but also again, we touched on HAPE earlier. I'm interested if you still have that, but this is the perfect time to pull this off if you're an NFT collection, because people understand. I mean, people are going to be hurt. You know, like there's going to be some type of like activity or some type of response that's not going to probably be that positive. But this is the time to launch a, hey, we fucked up, or hey, we're starting this new journey. Like this is the time to do that.
Yeah.
That's an interesting point. The timing of the market, and like, are there better types of things to be doing right now? I would actually agree that I think that those types of things, rather than launching new collections, you know, right now is a better way to go. I would also point to this being a differentiator between certain projects that I think are going to age better or are doing better right now. And that's the ones that have consistently kept their supply relatively low. Like we're even talking about how like Art Blocks, you could argue, has a ton of collections. And so they kind of have a really high supply, but also to your point, each collection is relatively limited, right? They don't do massive drops for most of these drops. They're relatively limited. They're pretty smart about that. But Oni Force, I know, Hugh, it hurts. I know every time we bring it up, it hurts. It burns a little bit. But it's one of the things that they've done remarkably well. It's like, yes, they have the frames, but that's not really like a tradable additional asset that you have to go buy and sell. It's not that. All of the liquidity, volume, and interest is still in the original Oni Force collection. And I think that is such a massive leg up. It gives you that focus, the clarity. It keeps you away from getting too far across that complexity chasm that Ronan was just talking about with Pixel Vault. So I think the collections that have kept it to like one main collection really well and not gone off with a bunch of other bullshit are set up right now to double, triple down on the value and really drive that value for the owners.
They did not take the bite of that forbidden apple, right? Once you do it, it's hard to take it back, which is what's happening with these secondary collections. You got a ton of interest in that first cycle if you dropped another collection, because it was essentially a Ponzi, right? It was like, collect this to get that. And you know, there's an element of a Ponzi to that.
Everything's a Ponzi.
Oni did not do that and is therefore set up better now. That was a great piece of alpha. I think Squash dropped, but also was making its rounds. Was they didn't? They probably would have got a higher floor price if they did launch a second collection that you needed to own the first one for, and they would have got a higher floor price in the bull if they had done that.
The floor is dropping just a little bit. It's down to 1.6 Q. It's coming down just a little bit.
I'm not celebrating. I'm really. Can we address this? Gifted dropped the Smurfs on us, and then did no follow up with like, hey, here's the
Smurfs. Like, the Smurfs is the follow up. I sent you the link of the OpenSea so we could go see what actually happened with it. The follow up is that we looked at it when it was launching. We said, I don't think it's gonna do well. and we're checking in. What happened with the Smurfs? Because nobody's talked about it since it launched.
I'll tell you what happened.
Oh,
Wow.
oh boy. Oh boy.
That's a legendary, by the way. Grail.
Who owns that?
Who dropped this? Was this Recur?
No, but it looks like Recur. Can we click back on that specific, that very good looking? Yes. Can we click on the wallet of who owns that? Who owns this piece?
Oh, that's a fucking one of those.
Anon.
Yeah.
Yo, he's got several Smurfs. Oh, there's some quality art in this wallet.
Pillheads?
I don't even
There's
know.
some man. There's some.
He's got an Air Force One.
They got an artifact egg. Yo, they got some artifact in there. But
imagine watching NFT live and like we happen upon your wallet.
Everything's on the chain. Yo, this is your reputation. Everything's on chain, fam.
Speaking of everything being on the chain, we ran the poll: will ETH be the prominent NFT blockchain in the future? 57%. This was kind of split. 57% said yes. 42% said no on Ethereum. So a lot of
I'm surprised. Color me Smurf blue. I'm surprised.
And of course, we get the Jeffrey the giraffe. Bring up that.
What's up with Jeff? Leo, what's going on with Jeffrey? Come on. We are blockchain forensicians, forensicology experts, forensic technicians.
Look, I'll make the slight jump with you to Jeffrey because it was on Solana. This is one of our stories, Magic Eden, which I believe has been a huge winner in all this. They launched Bitcoin support, and I think they've been big winners. They introduced Solana rewards for Solana-based trading. I'm gonna watch this really quick with you guys.
When Toys R Us yacht party, fam?
Bro, you laugh, and I'll be on that yacht with Jeffrey. I'll see you there. What is going on here? All right, look, we watch these videos sometimes for the first time with you guys for that organic reaction. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. And yeah.
I think we're all kind of the same. Look, I think this is part of the what's the right word? In gaming, you'd call it the meta, right? Like this is where we are in things right now. It's like anytime you do anything and you want people to get excited, just create a 20-second fucking bumper for it. And like, that makes absolutely no sense. I feel like all projects are like, this is how they lead into like whatever they're doing. It's like a cool fucking animation video.
10 KTF model.
Yep. Yeah. And it works, right? Like it gets people excited. Like we all know like the algorithm like awards people who are posting videos and pictures. So like that's another plus. But some cases it makes sense. Other cases it feels a little weird, right? Like 10 KTF makes sense. And what Yuga's been doing with their animations makes sense. But I don't know, this feels a little, but then again, I don't follow Magic Eden. Like, is that a character they use often?
Yeah, I think that's their character, but it's
that's like their
GIF, you're muted.
They must have their own NFT project, and that must be their character. I'm not gonna lie, that was really cringe and like, I'm so confused, and I have so many questions about it, and I don't think it's worth actually asking most of them. But are we like? I have to ask this one. What time frame or era are we in this video? Are we in the future somewhere, or are we in like medieval times, or are we in 1996 with that old ass fucking PC? Like, what is happening?
It was like a castle Mario with like a 1980s 286.
I do think it's like a Super Mario's thing, but like okay. I don't want to spend more time on that though. That was a weird video, honestly, but maybe this is interesting news.
Ooh. Well, look, the one interesting piece on this, there is going to be some activity around this because they're introducing what's called a maker fee, right? If you sell something, you are essentially getting a kickback, some rewards. So simply put, you earn fees on Magic Eden whenever someone accepts your offer and someone buys your listings. So that's going to drive some activity. They're trying to again incentivize trading. I think Magic Eden for a little while was kind of hurt. Like they couldn't find kind of product market fit. They've done so with Bitcoin trading, and now they're trying to kind of bring back Solana rewards.
Well, they had it for a little bit, and then Solana NFTs were not really sustainable, and then they made a massive play to get into Ordinals early. Super smart on them. So yeah, I think Magic Eden's going to be around for a while. Cool to see them continue to innovate. The other thing, Squashman over here is saying there might be a Superman drop, but the other thing that is actually, I think, happening like today or yesterday, that, since we're talking about these big famous IPs like Toys R Us, Joffrey the Giraffe, and Smurfs, why not check in on Star Wars? Star Wars is doing a big drop.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that, but it looked like it just brought back like wax PTSD, like VV PTSD. I was like,
Ronan, I mean, you've been a staunch collectible person in the space. You got that behind you, a whole desk full of collectibles. I feel like you're the target market for this type of thing. Are you excited about Star Wars doing a drop like this? Are you like pausing on all that right now? What's your general like vibe check? You know what I mean? Like, where are you at?
Yeah, I think Cryptoys is a cool idea. Poorly executed. I got in with the He-Man stuff. It was a horrible fucking experience. Every time I go to their website to log in just to see I still haven't even opened my He-Man like collectibles. Like, they come in packages so you can like open them or not. And like, I haven't even opened them. Like I have no idea which ones I have because every time I try to log in, it's a pain in the ass to log into the Cryptoys website. But I think like when you talk collectibles and like when you talk about like that, I think this is kind of cool. I think the drop is structured right. I think like, does it do well? Probably not. I don't think He-Man did all that great. But I think that's because we're still super kind of early in this space. And I think that these types of experience feel better and are probably more successful if you've got like an app component where you can like view your collectible like, on the go, or you can collect, while you're sitting in the fucking bathroom or whatever.
Can we scroll back up there real for a second? It says blast into the Cryptoyverse.
Yeah.
Stop trying to derail this show.
I'm cringing so hard right now. Who is responsible?
Seto.
VV was on top of this, by the way.
The Jen Seto? I know you guys know her.
Come on.
She's like part of the team. It was like her and her sister, I think, that launched it.
All right.
Steph Seto. Yeah.
Y'all, let us know in the chat. Are you blasting off into which metaverse are you blasting off into first? The Cryptoyverse or the Astralverse?
I'm confused. This says building on Flow blockchain with Cryptoys, and then you go up into this and it says VV.
Is VV on Flow?
No, VV is its own.
That is because VV has its own Star Wars collectibles already. So that's what they're talking. He's saying Star Wars is on VV and Cryptoys. So it's on Flow and it's on whatever the fuck VV is built on.
Let's talk about other interesting things. That's how I feel.
Why do you keep bringing up these topics?
I wanted to check in on it, but okay, I wanted to check in on it. We checked in, and I feel like it's a hot mess. And like, other than Ronan's takes on it, I don't know that our opinions matter, frankly.
It's interesting. It's interesting for sure.
Yo, dude, I think more so than any other episode, and we do have to get running here in like the next 10 minutes, but more so than any other episode, we've had a lot of like breaking announcements come through the chat. This is actually kind of huge. So Mythical Games, we've been covering them with Play Blancos for a long time. They actually came out with this announcement here. I love the 14-second trailer thing because Ronan was talking about this.
Told you, you just need a hype fucking trailer.
Isn't this like the third announcement that we've covered today that's about creating the future of gaming?
Okay. Well, that's where have you been?
Gaming, man.
That's
Gaming
how it
is the next. Yeah.
No,
man.
I'm sensing a theme, and what's the point? Like, I'm not just trying to be glib or whatever. It is funny that literally they're all like the future of gaming, and everybody. It is a little bit. It feels cliche and blasé already. To be fair, but I think the point is that, you know, we've all been talking about blockchain gaming, NFT gaming. When's it going to come? Is it dead? It's not happening. It's not here yet. We've seen some actually real big developments happening with both STEPN and Axie Infinity getting accepted onto Apple's devices. This is fucking huge. And so I guess the point is we should be continuing to pay attention to gaming and expecting that there will be some big developments and actual hits coming in the not too distant future, because everybody's working on this shit. The infrastructure is being developed, partnerships are being formed, actual IP is being created now at another level. And there's been a lot of investment in gaming over the last year or two. So I don't know that we've really seen any transcendent big things coming up yet. But I'm still really bullish on gaming, and I think that these announcements keep us tuned in.
Yep. And I think it's huge because up until this point, like Mythical has been using their own like proprietary EOS spinoff that was like just an internal chain. So going to Polkadot means like this opens it up to like an open ecosystem, right? For their digital assets. So I think that's pretty cool, man. And, you know, Mythical is one of the biggest game development studios out there that was created with Web3 in mind from day one. And they are quickly like growing, and they're continuing to grow and see more investment money. And, you know, the NFL thing was one of their newer launches. Obviously, like they're making big partnerships. So, you know, if you want to talk about people actually able to like move the space and actually create some forward momentum, I think Mythical's really positioned themselves well for that.
I'm going to give them some flowers because I do believe the CEO like knows what he's doing. He's a great pitch man for the product. I will say that we've been covering them since the beginning, since the launch of Blankos. We were there. We had them live on the channel at the day they launched Blankos, and it really just hasn't hit. Like you go in there, there's just not a lot of use case or just users in there. Let's hear him talk about.
But they're still plugging
rivals.
away, man.
It's true. It's true.
I got an announcement earlier today. They had like some update and some new stuff. So it's like, and even though it's like not necessarily like a huge hit with like massive gaming, like the gaming ecosystem, I do think that, you know, they're continuing to produce a product that shows how it could be done in a way that is acceptable for gamers. Like you can get into play Blankos and play with a free like thing. You can buy a skin just like you buy a skin in Fortnite, play with it, and then you can go sell that motherfucker just like, you know, any other like CSGO marketplace. So it's a good MVP of a product for bigger studios to hopefully take notice of.
Well, you're talking about bigger studios, Ronan, like Epic Game Store. They're doing it. Like they're the first on the beach. Don't get me wrong. Like they're gonna get shot. They're taking their hits. Like it's not overall marketing success, but it is on the Epic Game Store, and they are putting this stuff out, and it's still continuing to build. So yes, let's. Is it Tim Sweeney? Is that his name?
Yeah, Sweeney is like definitely. He's a huge advocate for the blockchain, and he's been very like staunch about like Epic is not doing anything with Web3 at the moment, but like, dude, just like,
yeah.
I mean, Mythical wasn't Mythical an Epic studio, or was it Blizzard? I can't remember.
No, it's Epic.
Studio.
It's
Epic, right?
Yeah,
it's an Epic studio. Like it just, it makes a lot of sense. I really am looking forward to what Epic does.
Let's see what Tim has to say about Blankos. This is about 45 seconds long. It'll probably have more substance than all the videos we saw on this combined. So let's see what he has to say.
It's happening today. I know there's some big things happening.
We've had some big things happening. Yeah. So we obviously put our first game out, Blankos Block Party on PC, which ended up being kind of the first Web3 economy game on the Epic Game Store. And we're happy to follow it up this year. We just launched NFL Rivals. So it's a game we've been working on for a little while now. With it's kind of a direct partnership with the National Football League as well as at the NFL Players Association. So we've been able to kind of work with both those groups for a while now. And our goal was really, how do we come up with a new gaming experience that truly is a game first, that brings concepts of this ownership into the game. And so we've been working with them for a while. The game just came out on iOS and Google, so you can find it in either of the app stores right now. It's completely free to play, but it really does have a lot of Web3 concepts very natively built into the game itself.
All right, that was a pretty cool update. Again, we've been following what they've been doing for a while. Guys, we have to run here in like the next 5 to 10 minutes. We'll try to hit on this. I haven't even looked at the NFL Rivals app here. So this is the first time I'm seeing the NFL Rivals app from them. There's also a link out to the Blanco store, so they're kind of trying to tie their ecosystem together there. That's the first time. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts there. And then I do want to touch on OniForce before we head out of here, because they are putting out some announcements. Okay, they are.
Don't really have much to say about that one. Rivals, I downloaded it and like I was just like, this isn't for me. It's like almost feels like an NFL Blitz type like game. But I could totally see like this is, we call them like what, Trojan horses, right? Like this is a way to get more people to understand the use case. So shout out to them for again, leading the way.
Gif, any takes there? I've got the OniForce stuff pulled up. We're ready to rock.
Let's move on to Oni.
Yeah, I don't really know that I got a bunch more to add right now. Okay. I'm excited about gaming. I mean, I think it's interesting to see Polkadot getting involved, and I'd be interested. Like, is Polkadot trying to compete with Polygon and Immutable X and Solana as the scalable gaming option? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I got questions about that. I think it's interesting, but honestly, I'm just still waiting to be like inspired to be like, yo, I need to go set up a new wallet and get into this thing because it looks so fucking cool, And the one note that I did have on this, because I have a little bit of insight, is I do know that imposters, I don't know if like we never really covered them, but it's actually a really big project from Elio Trades and like some pretty big people. They raised like $30 million and they haven't done much, but I know that they've been working and are working on a game. I think that's going to be kind of interesting because they actually have like a catchy social game. It's like got a bunch of social things built into it. So I don't know. That's just something that if we wanted to look at that collection briefly, that's held a floor actually really well during the bear market. But other than that, I don't have anything else to talk about with gaming right now. Okay. We can bring that up. If you want to drop that link, I'm down to pull it up. We only have probably like 5 more minutes left here. All right. I'm quickly becoming the guy who, was at 0.42 ETH here for an OniForce. It didn't pull the trigger. And yet we're still talking about OniForce, and I will continue to, shop for the mountaintops that they are undervalued here. Hopefully they still not buying though, Q? Still not buying?
I told you my price. It was 1. So 1 ETH is going to be where I'm at. If it gets it under that 1.2 range, I probably will pull the trigger here. But here's the announcement. Let's see. I mean, this is we're hitting our quota.
Wait, didn't we hit this?
Hey, look, they made an announcement with a cool, catchy trailer.
We didn't hit this yesterday?
No, we didn't. It came out afterwards.
I was gonna actually mention the trailer aspect, but I thought we talked about this yesterday. So yeah.
Nope. New shiny trailer for you guys. Oh God. All right, I was messing with the volume settings that entire time. I'm sorry for that. We are proud to announce our new creative director and advisor. I need to make sure I got that guy's name right before I get it. Known for working with brands like Overwatch, Valorant, Batman, and more, he is an important first step in establishing ourselves as a AAA storytelling brand.
I think it's just Hicham Habchi, but
Hicham Habchi.
I'm probably saying it wrong too, but yeah, this is another example of like top class gaming talent, renowned gaming developers and leaders starting to come into Web3 in big ways. I think this is huge. I think it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And like honestly, all it tells you really is that like Oniforce, they've already announced some big partnerships with like, you know, top class comic book creators and writers and shit like this. They are going to have an actual Avengers like dream team of some of the most talented, famous IP creators creating the Oniforce IP. Like this shit is going to look and feel and read like it is one of the coolest fucking things that has ever come out of Web3. That's how I feel right now. Like they're gonna nail Web3 IP better than almost anybody because they're investing in it like crazy.
Smart,
and
that's where
strong foundation. Strong foundation too. Sorry,
that's where the value of like, no, you're good. That's where the value of the brand is, right? Like it's in the branding, it's in the storytelling, it's in these characters that they've created. It just makes a ton of sense. That's really cool. Them being on Origin Story.
Yep.
So yeah, and I think that like I had a conversation earlier today in a business meeting, and I really do think that more personalized experiences and storytelling opportunities is going to be the name of the game coming out of entertainment in the future, because we are now having technology that allows for it. And I think Oni is kind of ahead of that mindset, right? They've been telling the personalized stories since day one in their Discord, when they had, you know, Discord characters and giving out roles to, you know, people who are interacting and things. So I think that, yeah, they're well positioned for the future. And the brand's cool as shit, you know, and to Gif's point, we're going to see more and more people from these huge industries like gaming and comics shift into Web3, because like, I think those types of people, those creatives, they're innovators, right? They want to be on the edge of like storytelling and interaction and entertainment. So, you know, Yuga securing, you know, the guy they did from, what was it, Blizzard or
Allegro,
whatever? Yeah, like that was a huge move. Just gaming again is going to be such a huge pillar of what we're doing. And real quick, because I know we got to move on, but as Asmodai said, game launcher season this year, HyperX, Elixir, Fire, and Ultra all on the docket to be launched this year. I'm super interested in knowing whether or not Ultra actually launches, because I had written that off as vaporware at this point. I've been following. I mean, dude, we talked about Ultra probably the first 6 months of the show, I feel like.
Yes.
I do feel like there's going to be a rush for a bunch of new products and games this year to come out before holiday season. So that's exciting, because there will be some things this year. Will we get the big one or one of those that really fucking hits? I wouldn't be surprised if this is the year that something launches like around holidays that is actually maybe really good. You know what I mean? Like, we'll see. You know, don't want to get my hopes up.
I wouldn't be surprised if Epic came out with like their own like integrated launcher, you know what I mean, that supports and allows for some type of Web3 integration directly within Unreal Engine and fucking everything, right? So I think that'll be really cool. Cool, Asmodai. He said that an Ultra game actually launched last week, so that's really cool. But I do DP's point, I think, is super important, and I think is the key to success. Most of these blockchains will do better with trying to find a novel way to support and or acquire mainstream gaming studios that already exist and have a successful track record. That's the key. And the only way to do it is to have someone who's in that space take the chance and get it right? We saw Ubisoft try it last year, didn't quite hit the mark. I think if Epic is going, my opinion is Epic's working on something in behind the scenes, and they're taking their time to make sure they get it right. And once somebody like Epic cracks that nut, everyone will fall in line. It's just like microtransactions. Nobody want to fuck with that shit after they dropped the damn horse armor that was $10 and like gamers went nuts. Very first DLC ever in a game that you had to pay for was horse armor.
I wonder. Sorry, I'm kind of like thinking on a tangent. Like, I think, Rona, you're bringing so many good points up, and it's making me, talking about Epic. Obviously, Rocket League is my game. It's the best game. It just is. But like, I'm wondering now, like, what it would look like for Rocket League to actually try and like transition into like a Web3 marketplace. Like, what if they decided, with all of the assets that everybody owns, we just lock those supply for all the past assets. They're just locked. Now the only way to get those assets is through a marketplace. You own those, you've earned them over the years of playing, you've built up this inventory of all these different cool assets. You know what? From moving forward, the only way to get those is to trade them. Now we'll create new assets and you can get those new ways. But like, what if they made that move? How much supply? How would, like, there's already a marketplace of trading and buying shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I wish that they would do something like that and I could actually get some of that value back out. And I'd love to see some games figure out a way to do something like that, because I feel like that would be such a tremendous moment. Obviously, you'd be facing a lot of slings and arrows from people that are just like anti-NFT for no reason still. But I feel like once they got the value that they were getting out of that, they'd understand and come around. But I feel like you could create so much value for people that have invested in your games by doing something like that.
I think the key there is and I know we got to go. You do it the way that Valve launched the CSGO marketplace. You just say your assets are now owned by you. We have a marketplace that you can now buy, sell, and trade them. And that's it. You don't tell them they're NFTs. They didn't do that. And CSGO and the marketplace as it exists could be backed by a one-to-one NFT, right, on the blockchain.
But I think the scarcity and the transparency of the blockchain and how they implement that marketplace is what's important. Because like right now, I have no idea how many people have my skins or my different pieces. And like
you have to add like
stuff,
like how much quantity is out there, things like
Yeah.
things that
That's a
make
whole
sense
different
that
thing
you
that
can
they're
filter on the marketplace.
Yeah, most
But
of them don't want
is
to
it
do
possible?
that because they're still making sales off of those assets. They bring them up in a new sale every couple months and they refresh them, and then more people want to buy them. So like I get it. I just think it would be so tremendously huge for a game to actually get that value, because I think they would also get value from that marketplace and the trading volume that ensues, right? So I don't
That's
think
where you have to get them to understand. You have to be like, the secondary marketplace is good because you can get 5% from all
They'll
secondary
only ever
sales.
do this. They'll only ever do this if there's a successful one that builds from the ground up.
It has to be
successful. That's
to
the
be
only way they do it. And in the conversation with Arclegger, because he developed H1Z1 and it fucking popped off. Yeah. And it was only then that then PUBG happened. And then when PUBG happened, which was not from a major fucking studio, when PUBG happened, they were like, we're doing this. Apex Legends jumped on board, then COD jumped on board, Fortnite jumped on board, and that's the same thing you'll see here. It will not come from a big Rocket League of Legends.
But if anybody can do it, it's one of these big publishers like in Epic Games. Like,
that's the same thing you'll say about Battle Royale. Battle Royale is the biggest genre in games today. It did not come from a big company, man. Like that's
but Fortnite is
big companies co-op.
Yeah, like.
But they didn't start that development of that game until they saw an indie studio do it.
But I'm just saying Epic Games could create their own marketplace across all their games with the interoperability in and out of those famous IPs. They could make a ton of money off of a marketplace that also created value for their holders. I don't know. Look, I'm still maintaining hope. I get what you're saying. It's difficult. It's not easy. There's a lot of reasons why they wouldn't. I understand, but come on, Epic Games.
Yeah. Just like, kind of like asking them for like some type of
value your community, value your
players. That's not.
They all say they are. They all say they're.
Exactly.
They all say they're.
Out of the goodness of your heart, Epic Games, please develop Web3.
It's not out of the goodness. They'll make money,
but not as much money as they make now. They have 100% take rate. They have 100% take rate.
Yes, but your secondary market could be massive if your supply is properly controlled. Look at Nike, right? Yes. Like Nike is like selling these fucking brand new shoes and they're hyping. Nike could roll out 1 million copies of any shoe and not make it a FOMO moment, right? Like all that plays into it, dude. And I think that secondary market sales could be a major driving revenue if you put scarcity into the mix with digital assets that these kids care about. I talked to a guy yesterday that was like, bro, I would literally give you $5,000 if I could get that skin that you have in Fortnite, because I was in beta in Fortnite and you can't get that skin anymore.
You can
right?
have both, right? You can have the cheap assets there,
Absolutely.
next to the high ones, but you can control the supply then and have your supreme drop moments. You could like the whole diamond market is ran off of limited supply and scarcity. You can have people actually speculating now on those $100,000 COD skins at a more regular pace. You could actually get people buying $1.5 million digital assets for your fucking game on top of having the long tail. There's no reason why you have to do one or the other, but you can now create the luxury gaming experience that I think hasn't really been there, but I think will be there. Just like you've got the crazy luxury markets now and a bunch of older people that spend a bunch of money on their fashion goods. Just wait till Gen Z, younger millennials, Gen Alpha have a bunch of money in their pockets. Yo, you don't think they're going to want to be showing up into their fucking gaming lobbies with the fucking $1,000, $2 million fucking skins?
I mean, that's the thesis on Web3 gaming. It's if anybody has believed in Web3 gaming since the beginning, it's that assets in games have been super valuable.
Absolutely.
Of how we get there is a whole other deal. So,
they've been valuable. They trade on a
yeah.
secondary that's large and active, despite the fact that it's literally illegal. So, it's kind of like the argument for legalizing pot, right? Like, why let all the legal shit happen when you could like get your cut? Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. So we'll see. But I know we got to be at the end of it. That was a really great conversation, though.
The last two announcements that I want to talk on, I'm kind of getting into cyberconks here. One of the reasons I'm bringing this up is because we talked on the IP yesterday. I think they're leaning into that non-pixelated piece because all of their announcements. Yeah, exactly. They do have to. But I'm interested in the entrance into cyberconks. Like I want to know where is the best place to be, because I'm starting to get a little bit more interested in like, okay, it looks like they're making a concerted effort to attack this IP. Baby. I just is the baby the best entrance? I don't know, because the cyberconks are 10 ETH.
What were they saying? Somebody was saying there's like an XP or an XR.
It's a VFX.
Yeah, VFX. That was what people were saying yesterday, which I didn't even look at those. To me, the babies are just ugly, but they're way cheaper. So it's like that's the affordable place to get in, as far as I could tell. But maybe the VFX. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, man. Like I would be bullish on this maybe because it's an OG provenance play that has that community backed, but I'm just not a fan of them trying to create an anime IP out of pixelated voxel assets. It feels disjointed to me. I don't know. Maybe it'll work.
Yeah, and then we have as well, Ronan, this one that you dropped on us as well. Superman is flying to the blockchain soon. Stay tuned for updates. This happened
Shout out to
2 hours ago. 2 hours ago, Warner Bros.
Yep, that's pretty cool, man. I think that Warner Brothers is definitely one of those brands that's willing to really play with their IP and do something fun. They want to control as much of it as possible. They dropped some stuff on Vivi early on, but that's like they lent somebody the RP to create something. I imagine what they're doing with this next iteration is straight from Warner Brothers, just like Game of Thrones, just like Batman, just like Matrix, and there'll actually be some.
What do you mean? What do you mean straight from Warner Bros? Like Game of Thrones was not from the original creators of Game of Thrones. That was a licensed piece of doo-doo.
Warner Brothers was heavily involved in launching Game of Thrones.
Really?
Warner Brothers was heavily involved in launching Matrix. They have a team.
They were involved and they still did the fingers? Bruh, that's even more depressing.
Matrix, Space Jam, Batman, and Game of Thrones. The team at Warner Brothers has to sign off on everything that takes place, and they're heavily involved in the process. I've talked to the team multiple times.
So somebody at Warner Brothers signed off on the game?
Dude, that team is willing to do some really innovative shit and try. I just think that they ultimately partnered with the wrong Web3 partner.
I'm sure they keep getting a quick influx of cash for not that much investment. So why wouldn't they keep trying it? They're smart for that.
All right. The topics for today's episode were going to be about Milady and looking out for rugs. We didn't cover that at once, not
My
once.
bad.
So no. Dude, honestly, I thought this was probably the most jam-packed discussion we had all week. So I really like this episode of NFT Live. The activity as well in chat was really dope. So I appreciate you guys all the way through. DP says Cyberkongs are grasping at straws. They should have doubled down on the alpha play and become an incubator for other NFT projects. That's a take.
It kind of feels like that to me, though. Like, I'm not going to lie. It does feel like they're kind of... I think that's a good take. I feel that.
It's
yeah.
It's tough for me because it's like I need to like hear. I don't know. It's very clear that you're not bullish on Cyberkongs. So it's like, okay, I show something on Cyberkongs. It's like GiftDead's not gonna be about it. Like that's how I've done it for like the last 3 days, and it's like
no. I will say
I get it.
I will say that I'm actually getting more interested in it because they are trying things. They are developing. The more we talk about it, the more I see things. I'm like, okay, like getting that one thread that you pulled up initially, Q, that had like the provenance explanation of like why it's an important project. That actually did the most to get me interested. I don't think the IP is great. I don't think the art's that great. I think they increased their supply quite a lot, even though the original is only 1,000. The original collection's holding a really strong floor price, and it does have that provenance, but their strong suit was the community, the alpha, and like what they were kind of building that way. I don't think the IP is their strong suit. So like when they're like investing a bunch of money into trying to spin the original characters into something totally different, that's also another monkey thing, that's an anime monkey thing, it feels very much like they're chasing some other ideas of other people, and they don't actually have a real direction or a leader that can like be like, here's our original vision for what Cyberkongs is, how we're different, that is true to our original sort of like community. That's what it feels like to me. That's why I think DP's take is on the money.
Yeah. It's interesting that Avagachi didn't go the route. Like they're pixelated, and they're not going a route of, we're going to create like this different other type of IP that is not pixelated. But I think
being true and authentic.
Yeah. Well, there is some imagery that doesn't show the pixelation, and there is that. I think you're kind of being a little bit harsh on Cyberkongs. Like they're trying something new, like a lot of other projects in this space are at this stage of the cycle. Like they could have definitely capitalized way more, but I think that they're trying different things, and that's where I would kind of like.
That's fair,
that's where I'm from.
I agree with you. They are, which is why I'm getting more interested every time we talk about it. But I'm also trying to be much more strict with myself and the things that I buy into. Because I think all of us have aped into projects based on maybe things like this, that we were like, oh yeah, that's cool. They're doing something, so it must be good. You know, you were the one, Nifty Q, saying like, oh, I've seen this story a million times. It doesn't always work out. And I've been focusing a lot more in on what do I think is good IP or has the potential to transcend and actually develop into something meaningful that people connect with, and what are those things that I look for in projects at this point that are these OG projects that have been around for a year or two. What are the things that I think makes them actually undervalued and have a bright future versus they're undervalued, or they're just valued low now and may or may not actually ever turn into something more meaningful. I'm just being real fucking picky. I'm being very discerning with what I think I understand about the market at this point. All right. Also, we're never going to lie. We're always going to be honest here. That's what we do. It's editorial. That's our editorial.
Yeah.
You like it or you hate it.
I'm going to be following up with Cyberkongs here. I'm going to try to have a team member. I believe Hash Rhymes is trying to get me in touch with a team member as well. So I'm going to try to have them on to kind of dive in on the details there. We went over 2 hours today, folks. So we're here every single day other than Fridays, right? And we're touching grass on the weekends. But we're here every single day, 1 p.m. Eastern, giving you the latest from around the industry. This, again, I can't say enough how jam-packed this episode was with, one, just information. We were touching on different theses around gaming and marketplaces there. Epic Games. I mean, I don't want to spend like the next 5 minutes talking about everything we touched on because it was a lot. But I appreciate your guys' takes. You guys for showing up there in chat. guys and gals, thank you so much. We will be back next week, of course, on Monday. Look out for the Wild Web Pod that's going to drop on YouTube. So we're kind of staggering those launches, so they'll come out first on audio, like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and then we will release a YouTube video for those people that just don't leave YouTube. Some people don't do that. Some people don't like podcasts. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys. Our Vibe, our tribe. I will finish out. Let's go Gifted and then Ronan to take us out. Again, appreciate you guys so much.
Epic show. Couldn't have done it without y'all in the chat over there, and especially this guy, Ronan. Smash the like for Ronan. Couldn't have done it without this guy coming through, making it epic. 2 hours felt like a breeze with y'all today.
Kind of felt like it's the first time I've honestly felt like the same vibes as like Clubhouse. It was like we were just riffing on topic after topic after topic, giving our takes, and they were really good conversation and informing, like you said, Q. So I agree. I think this was a really great conversation. Thank you guys so much for having me. I think you should smash a like for these two guys because they're here literally every single fucking day. I get in when I can make it as much as possible. And it's because I love you guys and I love everyone in chat. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for all the support that you guys give us relentlessly. It means more than the world to us. So we appreciate you. That's our vibe, our tribe. We'll catch you next week.